Hello dear students. As we have discussed in our lecture number 2, operating ratio, we have counted one sum related to that. Operating ratio is equal to COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. As I told you that operating ratio is expenses based ratio. Now let's discuss another sum. Second sum, page 219, illustration number 6. Page 219, illustration number 6. From the given information of K and Company Limited, calculate operating ratios of 2 years. They have given information for 2016 and 2017. Sales, COGS, then admin expense, sales expense, admin expense, sales expense, then depreciation, financial expense, then income of interest, dividend, income of interest and dividend, and last other expenses, non-operating expenses for 2016 and 2017. For 2016, 15 lakh, 7 lakh 50,000, 15 lakh, 7 lakh 50,000, 1 lakh 2 lakh 50,000, 1 lakh 2 lakh 50,000, 1 lakh 1 lakh 2 lakh, 1 lakh 1 lakh 2 lakh, and last 50,000. For 17, 20 lakh, 9 lakh, then 150, 300, 1 lakh 50,000, 3 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 1 lakh, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, and last 50,000. This information they have given in equation. We have to find operating ratio. Formula is COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. So for COGS, they have already given COGS. So no need to find that. Then loss operating expense. They have not given direct operating expense, but they have given us admin expense, sales expense and depreciation. Financial expense are not included in operating expense. Then this is our income, that will also not included, and other expense. They have specifically given non-operating. That means these three information are given to confuse you. Okay? We'll use this 4 things. And net sales, they have not given sales return. That means there is no need to find net sales, right? So first of all, we'll find operating expense. Operating expense is equal to admin expense plus sales expense plus depreciation. Operating expense for 2016 is equal to admin expense 1 lakh plus sales expense 2,50,000 plus depreciation 1 lakh. Total 4,50,000. Right? Same operating expense for 2017. Operating expense for 2017 is equal to admin expense 1,50,000 plus 3 lakh plus 1 lakh. Answer is 5,50,000. So we get operating expense for 16 and 17. Now we can apply the main formula. Operating ratio is equal to COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. Therefore, operating ratio for 2016 is equal to COGS is 7,50,000 plus operating expenses 4,50,000 upon sales 15 lakh into 100, 12 lakh upon 15 lakh into 100. So we'll get the answer is 80%. Next, operating ratio for 2017. COGS is 9 lakh and operating expense for 17 is 5,50,000 upon net sales 20 lakh into 100, 14,50,000 upon 20 lakh into 100. So our answer is 72.5%. So see, for 2016 operating ratio is 80%, means our expenses are 80%. So our profit is 20%, but as compared to 2016, for 2017 our operating ratio is 72.5%, which means our profit is 27.5%, which shows increase in our profit. So 2017 condition is better than 2016. Write it down. Page 247. Page 247, question 5. From the following information, calculate operating ratio. They have given non-operating other expenses 35,000. Non-operating other expenses 35,000. Then depreciation 48,000. After that, administrative expense 75,000. Then sales 6 lakh. Tax rate 30%. Income from interest and dividend is 45,000. Then sales expense 52,000. Sales expense 52,000. Then COGS 3,25,000. And financial expense 85,000. Okay. Now you say which expenses are used in the sum and which are not. As we have discussed, financial expenses and other incomes or other non-operating expenses are not included in operating ratio. So, to apply the formula, they have given COGS, right? Then sales, they have not given sales return. That means this is net sales. And they have given number of expenses. But we have to use only operating expenses. Operating expenses includes non-operating other expense? No. That means that is unnecessary. Depreciation is included in operating expense. Admin expenses, then tax rate, not necessary. Income, not necessary. Sales expense and financial expenses are not included. That means in this ratio, to find operating expenses, will use this 3 expenses, right? So first of all, we'll find operating expenses. Operating expenses is equal to depreciation. We'll write only those things which are given in our question. Will not write other things, right? Depreciation plus admin expense plus sales expense. So, depreciation is 48,000. Admin expenses 75,000. And sales expense is 52,000. So, total operating expenses are 1,75,000. Now we'll find operating ratio is equal to COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. COGS is 3,25,000 plus operating expenses are 1,75,000 upon net sales is 6 lakh into 100. So 5 lakh upon 6 lakh into 100. Then our answer is 83.33%. That means expenses of firms are 83.33%, and that means the profit of a firm is 17.66 or 67%. Again, I am discussing, they have not given direct operating expense. So we have to apply the formula admin expense plus sales expense plus employee benefit expense plus depreciation plus amount written off. But they have not given employees benefit expense and amount written off. That's why we have write down only three things which they have given. That is depreciation, admin expense and sales expense. The total of that is 1,70,000. They have already given in the question COGS and net sales. So we directly apply the amount and find the operating ratio, that means expenses are 83.33%. Okay. Now let's do another sum. Page number 220. Page 220, illustration number 7. From the following information of S Limited, calculate operating ratio. Net sales 28 lakh. Net sales 28 lakh. Then COGS 18 lakh. Then salary 1,20,000. Then other admin expense 1,80,000. Sales expense 1,50,000. Interest on loan 1,25,000. Loss due to fire. Loss due to fire is 25,000. Interest income on investment. Interest on investment 1,80,000. They have given this information. So here they have not given direct operating expense, so we have to find them. they have given net sales and COGS. In operating expense, salary comes, yes, because salary is employee benefit expense. Then other admin expense will also include it, and sales expense. Interest on loan, no, that is our financial expense. Loss due to fire, that will also not include it because that is non-operating expense. And interest on investment, that is our income, not expense. So it will also not include it. So these three things are not included. Let's find the answer. First of all, we have to find operating expense is equal to salary plus other admin expense plus sales expense. Salary is 1,20,000. Other admin expenses are 1,80,000 and sales expenses are 1,50,000. So total operating expenses are 4,50,000. Right? Now we'll find operating ratio. Operating ratio is equal to COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. COGS is equal to 18 lakh plus operating expenses are 4,50,000 and net sales 28 lakh into 100. So total 22,50,000 upon 28 lakh into 100. So our answer is 80.36%. So operating ratio for company S is 80.36%, which means they earn profit that is 19.64%. Right? Understood? Next and last one. Page 247, question 6. Question number 6. From the following information, calculate operating ratio and operating profit ratio. But here we'll find only first operating ratio. We'll not find operating profit ratio. That we'll discuss later. To find operating ratio, they have given sales, COGS, sales expense, loss due to accident, factory expenses related to, including depreciation. then wages, admin expense, wages, admin expense, interest on loan, and dividend received on investment. Last, tax rate. Sales 39 lakh, $25 lakh, then 75,000, 40,000, 75,000, 40,000, 50,000, 2 lakh, 1,75,000, 60,000, 1 lakh, and 30%. Sorry, 2 lakh. Wages are 75, 40, then factory expenses 50, wages 2 lakh, admin expense 1,75,000, 60,000, 1 lakh, and 30%. As we have discussed, operating profit ratio will not find right now. Right now we'll find only operating ratio. See, this is the formula to find operating ratio. COGS plus operating expense upon net sale into 100. Now, first you decide which expenses will include in operating expense. Think on it. So you decide which expense will come in operating expense. Now, let's see. Sales expense, yes. Loss due to accident, no. Factory expense including depreciation. They have given the word depreciation, that's why that will include it. Next, wages, yes, because that is employee benefit expense. Then admin expense, yes. Interest on loan, no. Financial expense. Dividend received, that is our income, that's why it will not include it. And last, tax rate, no. Okay, so this 1, 2, 3, 4 are operating expense. Let's find that answer. Operating expense is equal to sales expense plus depreciation. Here I will write only depreciation, not everything, that factory expenses including depreciation. Then wages, and last admin expense. Sales expense 75,000. Then depreciation 50,000. Then wages 2 lakh. And admin expense 1,75,000. Total is 5 lakh. So total operating expenses are 5 lakh. Now we can apply the formula. Operating ratio is equal to COGS plus operating expense upon net sales into 100. COGS 25 lakh plus 5 lakh upon net sales 39 lakh into 100. So 30 lakh upon 39 lakh into 100. Our answer is 76.92%. That means the firm is doing expense 76.92%. That means they are earning profit, or profit earning ratio is 23.08%. Write it down. Hope you have written. I'm explaining it again. This is the last sum related to operating ratio. Okay? They have given all this information, but other information are just to confuse you. Don't confused. Just remember how many operating expenses are. Okay? Sales and COGS are already given. They have given sales expense. Loss due to accident. Sales expense is operating expense, right? Loss due to accident is not operating expense. Factory expenses including depreciation, yes, that is an operating expense. Wages, yes, because that is employee benefit expense, and employee benefit expenses are included in operating expense. Admin expense, yes, that will include it. Interest on loan, no, that is financial expense. Dividend received on investment, no, that is an income, not expense. And tax rate, this will also not include it. So first of all, we have find out operating expense and we got the answer 5 lakh. Then we have applied the formula of operating ratio and got the answer 76.92%. Clear? Now, next method of is operating profit ratio 1C. As I have told you, there is 4 ratios to check the profitability of a firm. First one, gross profit ratio, which we have discussed. Second one is operating ratio, and third, that is operating profit ratio, and fourth one is net profit ratio. 1C, operating profit ratio. Okay. This ratio shows the relation between operating profit and net sales. This ratio is income based ratio. Operating ratio was expense based ratio, and operating profit is income based ratio, which means if it is increasing from, let's say, in 2016 operating profit ratio was 20 and in 17 it was 25, then it shows increasing trend, which is favorable to a firm. So main formula to find operating profit ratio is equal to operating profit upon net sales into 100. Okay, so if they have not given net sale, then you know which formula we have to apply, right? And the formula is net sales is equal to total sales minus sales return. Now, if they have not given operating profit, then we'll find operating profit is equal to net sales minus operating cost. Hope you have remembered the difference between operating cost and operating expense. It's total sales minus sales return. Is it visible now? Right? So, operating cost. How to find operating cost? That we have already discussed. Operating cost is equal to COGS plus operating expenses. To find COGS, you know the formula, right? Opening stock plus purchase expense minus closing stock. And to find operating expense, the formula is administrative expense plus sales expense plus depreciation plus employee benefit expense and plus amount written off. Only two formulas are new for you, and that is first one and third one. Others are you have already studied in previous two ratio, right? Operating profit ratio. Again I am discussing. Operating profit ratio is equal to operating profit upon net sales into 100. Net sales is equal to total sales minus sales return. Then if they have not given operating profit, then the formula is net sales minus operating cost. As I have told you, there is difference between cost and expense. Operating cost is equal to COGS plus operating expense. If they have not given COGS, then we have to apply this formula: opening stock plus purchase expense minus closing stock. And if they have not given operating expense, then the formula is admin expense plus sales expense plus depreciation plus employee benefit expense plus amount written off. Okay, see, in operating ratio I have not write down formula for COGS and net sales, because in that question they are already given you COGS and net sales, but in this ratio there are chances that they have not given directly COGS. They have given you opening stock purchase, so you have to apply this formula. That's why you have to write down it again. Okay, write it down. Now let's discuss the sum related to operating profit ratio. Page number 247, question number 6. page 247, question 6. They have asked to find operating ratio and operating profit ratio, right? We have already found the operating ratio, right? Now we'll find operating profit ratio. So to find operating profit ratio, they have given sales COGS, sales COGS, sales expense, loss due to accident, loss due to accident, factory expenses, including depreciation, wages, admin expense, interest on loan, dividend received, and tax rate. $39.25, lakh, 25 lakh, then 75,000, 40,000, 75,000, 45,000, 50,000, wages 2 lakh, admin expense 1,75,000, interest on loan 60,000, dividend received 1 lakh, and last tax rate 30%. This information they have given, right? Now we have to find operating profit ratio. Operating profit ratio is equal to operating profit upon net sales into 100, right? We have to find operating profit and net sales. We already got sales. Why? This sale is net sale because they have not given sales return. Now to find operating profit, formula is operating profit is equal to net sales minus operating cost. Okay, we already have net sales but we don't have operating cost, so we have to find operating cost first. So formula to find operating cost is equal to COGS plus operating expenses. So in this question they have already given COGS but they don't give operating expense. So first of all we have to find operating expenses. Understood? Again I have explained. First of all we have to find operating expense, then operating expense plus COGS, that means we'll get operating cost, then net sales minus operating cost and we get operating profit, and then operating profit upon net sales into 100. अगर आपको पता नहीं हो कि कौन कौन सी चीज़ें फाइंड करनी है तो आप जिससे मैंने किया था ऑपोजिट वे में, पहले मेन फार्मूला, then we don't have operating profit, that's why we have to find operating profit and we have to use this formula. Then in this formula also we don't have operating cost, So before finding operating profit, we have to find operating cost. And in operating cost, we don't have operating expense. So first of all, we have to find operating expense. So let's check which expenses are included in operating expenses. So sales expense are included, loss not, depreciation yes, wages yes, admin yes. This three will not included. So operating expense is equal to sales expense plus depreciation plus, there is no space, that's why I am writing like this. You have to write full depreciation. Okay, then wages and admin expense. Sales expense 75,000 plus depreciation 50,000 plus wages 2 lakh plus admin expense 1,75,000, and then we get the answer, that is 5 lakh. That is our operating expense. Now after finding this operating expense, we'll find operating cost. COGS is 25 lakh and operating expenses are 5 lakh. So total is 30 lakh, right? So we got the operating cost. Now we'll find operating profit. Operating profit is equal to net sales minus operating cost. Net sales is 39 lakh minus 30 lakh is equal to 9 lakh. So we got the operating profit. Let's find operating profit ratio. 9 lakh upon 39 lakh into 100, and our answer is 23.08%. Okay, clear? Explaining again. First of all, we'll find operating expense, and operating expense includes sales expense, depreciation, wages and admin expense. And we got the answer 5. After that, we found operating cost. Operating cost is equal to COGS plus operating expense. So 25 lakh plus 5 lakh is equal to 30 lakh. Then operating profit. Operating profit is equal to net sales minus operating cost. Net sales is 39 lakh, operating cost is 30 lakh, and we get the answer 9 lakh. Then we applied that in main formula. Operating profit upon net sales into 100 is equal to 9 lakh upon 39 lakh into 100, and we get the answer 23.08%. This 23.08% is our profit. Now check the sum with this sums of operating ratio, right? Check. In operating ratio, we get the answer of this sum is 76.92. So total sales 100 minus operating ratio, that means expenses 76.92, and we get the answer of profit is 23.08, right? That means by this way we can tally the sum. You can fill or you can check your answer, right? Now sums related to this ratio we'll do in our next video lecture. Till then, do practice of this sums. Remember or write down all the formula. Okay? Till then, all the best. Stay home, stay safe.